It is the day for a national exercise, an effort to protect the environment for posterity. And I hope you have planted a tree to put your name in history. Good afternoon. It is a rainy Friday, and my name is Winifred Efum. Let's settle for the news. The President Nana Akufo-Addo on Friday morning symbolically planted the first tree to set in motion Ghana's ambition plan to plant 20 million trees across the country. Nana Akufo-Addo was at the Efua Sutherland Children's Park in Accra early in the morning. As he recounted the importance of the forest to human survival, he said the country in the last decade lost 100,000 acres of her forest cover, a worrying development necessitating immediate action to leave posterity a greener and sustainable planet. The agenda to plant 20 million trees across the country, according to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, is to stop the substantial decline of the country's forest cover. From data, Ghana has lost 80% of her forest cover since 1900, and in the last decade, 100 acres of her forest cover. This massive loss is what this drive with the theme Mobilizing for a Greener Future seeks to halt through an aggressive afforestation and reforestation across the country. In 2021, 7 million trees were planted, and for 2022, the effort is being stepped up to 20 million trees. 50% of the trees will be planted in the forest cover and 50% in off-forest cover areas. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Samuel Jinapo, said the Let's Go Planting initiative is to seal the future of the country's forest cover and save it for future generations.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and its agencies have adopted a two-pronged approach. The first approach is to protect our existing forest and wildlife resources by halting deforestation. Our second approach to the management of the forest and wildlife resources of our country is an aggressive afforestation and reforestation program to complement the work we are doing to halt deforestation.
The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, was not happy at the rapid depletion of the forest through various human activities and called on all to support the efforts to green the country, which is the source of life and employment for many.
We are embarked on an aggressive afforestation and reforestation program aimed at restoring our lost forest cover and halting the current rate of deforestation. It is in this spirit that I call on each and every one of you, whether you are a Ghanaian or not, insofar as you are in Ghana, to join us today to plant at least 20 million trees. I call on members of parliament, members of corporate Ghana, traditional leaders, entrepreneurs, teachers, nurses, doctors, lawyers, judges, workers, farmers, bankers, students, religious leaders, traders, civil servants, public servants, members of the diplomatic corps, and indeed every person living in Ghana, as well as those visiting Ghana on Green Ghana Day, to help us plant these trees. Together, let us build a greener future for current and future generations of Ghanaians and mankind.
The tree seedlings for this project include native timber tree species, shade trees, multi-purpose leguminous trees, ornamentals, and fruit trees. The Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin, says saving the environment is devoid of political persuasion, and therefore it behoves all Ghanaians to join in the efforts to safeguard the planet. Speaking at a ceremony to plant trees on the presence of Parliament, the Speaker said issues of the environment and climate change have become topical, not because they are fashionable, but because they are existential issues for mankind.
Mr. Bagbin said the House did not sit to enable members to lead the efforts in their constituencies due to the seriousness Parliament attaches to the Green Ghana Day. The Speaker planted a deep-rooting tree popularly called the Tree of Life. The Majority Chief Whip, Mr. Frank Anodompre, planted one on behalf of the first Deputy Speaker, Mr. Joseph Oseusu, while the second Deputy Speaker, Mr. Andrew Yamamwako, planted another. Other leaders who planted were Madam Lydia Hassan, the second Deputy Majority Whip, who planted on behalf of the Majority Leader, Mr. Osei Mensa Bonsu, while the first Deputy Minority Whip, Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim, planted another on behalf of the Minority Leader, Mr. Haruna Idrisu.
In the Ashanti region, the Otumfuo Say-Tutu Foundation, in collaboration with Vodafone Ghana, planted trees in some senior high schools and health facilities in Kumasi.
Over 3,000 seedlings were planted at the Kumasi Anglican Senior High School, Asanteman SHS, Kumasi Wesley Girls SHS, Kumasi Academy and Tafo Government Hospital. At the Kumasi Wesley Girls SHS, a team made up of executives of Otumfuo Say-Tutu Foundation, management of Vodafone Ghana, members of the Tafo Traditional Council, and students planted coconut, orange, and guava seedlings. The headmistress of the Kumasi Wesley Girls SHS, Very Reverend Monica Efri-Fantiama, commended the Otumfuo Say-Tutu Foundation and Vodafone Ghana for the exercise.
For me, tree planting day, which formerly was called Arbor Day, is very, very important for everyone. So I entreat everyone to make sure that she or he plants a tree in the environment in which he finds herself or himself.
The capacity building and knowledge management officer of the foundation to own the trees.
We've taken this opportunity to employ the students and the staff here to take good care of the plants, water them, and to enable it grow.
The executive of the Ghana Journalists Association also planted trees at the press center.
We at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation have joined the GJA to mark this day by planting trees around our house, the National Press Center. The idea is to ensure that we send a message loud and clear to all media practitioners across the country. This greening of Ghana is something that is our own, and everybody should embrace it. And we are very happy to be associated with greening Ghana.
In the northern region, residents are being urged to desist from indiscriminate bush burning, which could render the Green Ghana initiative an exercise in futility. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. George Duka, in an interview with GBC News in Tamale during the tree planting exercise, disclosed that 1 million trees of various species are to be planted in the region this year. Our correspondent Mutala joins us from Tamale with this report.
So we currently are the headquarters of the Northern Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, where the tree planting exercise is taking place. The Northern Regional Minister, the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mreku Duga, and the Lands Director in the Northern Region have all joined the military here. The GOC is here himself, and they are carrying out this exercise. I am told, apart from this place, there's also an exercise going on later in the day to be led by the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, that will take place at Bawa Barracks, close to the Tamale Airport, and then the Tamale Teaching Hospital as well. I am also told that there's also a similar program at the Bewa Palace in Yendi. Now, across the northern region, it is expected that about 1 million seedlings will be planted, and the species vary from acacia through mahogany and all these hardy woods that are resistant to drought. We have also been speaking with about what sustainable strategies they've put in place to protect these seedlings.
Plant now because of the rains, so we'll take advantage of the rainfall and ensure that this happens. And then also for us to keep eyes on these plants so that stray animals don't go and then devastate or destroy them or eat the leaves or these things. But again, when it stops raining and we see that the trees still need some water, we would endeavor to use the resources available to us to keep them well watered. In fact, that they would be resilient enough to stand on their own later on.
For a region that is noted for wildfire, and they assured the public that they have put in place the right measures to make sure that not many of these seedlings are burnt during fire outbreaks. They are also appealing to the public to ensure that they protect these seedlings, that every see this as a responsibility to protect not only plants but also to protect these seedlings to ensure a survival rate. The Deputy Minister also indicated that last year's projects they have carried out the census, and they can tell that about 80% of these seedlings have survived. Mutia Isa for GBC News.
Thank you, Mutala. The Bui Power Authority is planting 20,000 tree seedlings as part of Green Ghana Day. The Director of Occupational Health, Safety and Environment, Mr. Trisantos Kunifa, said the trees will complement the over 400 trees planted each year under the Forest Resources Enhancement Program of the Bui Power Authority. Mr. Kunifa spoke to GBC News when staff of the BPA were joined by personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service and school children from the communities to mark the Green Ghana Day. Our Bono regional correspondent, John Sam Arthur, is on the line to tell us more. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon.
How is the Green Ghana agenda unfolding in Bono?
Yes, Bono, it looks very good.
Right.
Because at the regional capital event, it rained heavily this morning, signifying that the trees that are going to be planted today are going to start very well with very soft ground after the heavy rains this morning. But at the Bui Power Authority's base in the Banda district, there was no rain, but the weather was cool for the exercise. And they targeted to plant 20,000 trees starting from today, like you heard, and some of the seedlings that they are hoping to plant or have started planting include teak, cassia, mahogany, and fruit trees like mango, guava, citrus, and coconuts. And the interesting thing about Bui is that before Green Ghana started, they had already started planting trees because according to the director of estates of the Bui Power Authority, energy is very important for national development, and they know the role that water plays in hydro power generation. And so even before Green Ghana started, they had the FREP, which is the Forest Resource Enhancement Program, which they initiated to ensure that the Bui area is always filled with trees to protect the dam. And so under that program, they plant about 420 hectares every year. And so what they are doing under the Green Ghana project is just to augment what they already started. And so it looks really good. And they have lessons for Ghana in general as we embark on this Green Ghana initiative, because the trees they have been planting over the years are doing very well, making the Bui area very conducive for hydroelectric power production. And so they are also putting plans to ensure that the trees, once planted, are nurtured to maturity. According to the Mr. Crisantus Kunifa, the Deputy Director, Occupational Health, Safety and Environment, they have established serious partnerships with members of the communities and then the Ghana Fire Service, and they always ensure that even when the dry season is at its peak, they put in place fire fighting measures to protect the trees and ensure that they grow to maturity. So they are very confident that the 20,000 trees they are going to plant as a result of Ghana is going to almost 100% success rate.
So this means that the Bono area have achieved much success, if I am to go by what you are saying.
Yes, exactly. Because this year there are the border region was given a quota of 1.2 million trees. And according to the regional boss, Mr. Noble Eshan, that is the Forestry Commission boss, they are planning to do at least 1.5 million instead of the 1.2. It's 1.2 million. And they say the lessons they learned from last year was better protection of the seedlings. So in this direction, timber company in Sunyani, Utiebwa Company Limited, has presented about 800 seedling protectors made of wood that will be put around the trees, seedlings planted, so that breeding animals like goats and kids and other threats that could the development of the trees. So it's all looking quite good here in the Bono region.
Right, thank you, John Samantha. Follow it up. Let's see how the trees are nurtured so we get trees next year to talk about. At Dunkwa Onofin in the Upper Dentra East Municipality of the Central Region, the manager of the Dunkwa District Forestry Commission, Mr. Maxwell Otin Ejekum, urged partners in all sectors to ensure that seedlings planted this year as part of Green Ghana project are nurtured into trees. He said this year a total of 200,000 seedlings of the various species of trees are available for planting in Dunkwa District Forestry Commission alone. 50,000 seedlings would be planted in the forest reserve and 150,000 seedlings would also be planted in off-forest reserve. The Member of Parliament for Upper Dentra East, Dr. Festus Ewua Kofi, said the government has pledged to roll out massive degraded lands to their previous state. He therefore urged miners and residents in Upper Dentra East Municipality to support the move to reclaim degraded lands for Green Ghana project. Meanwhile, Nana Jechi Enim III, Dentra Abakumanhine, also encourages all residents of Dentra to participate in Green Ghana project exercise. The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, led heads of departments and agencies to plant seedlings in the whole municipality. About 500,000 trees are expected to be planted in the Volta region.
About 20 million trees are expected to be planted to increase the country's forest cover and also help combat the effects of climate change. About 500,000 trees to be planted in the Volta region. The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, joined traditional authorities, heads of departments and agencies, as well as students, and a section of the public in the tree planting exercise. The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, urged the public, and especially students in the region, to make tree planting a daily habit to safeguard the depleting vegetation cover in the region. He called on the public to ensure that the wildlife and forest reserves in the region are protected.
The Upper West regional version of the Green Ghana project started in Wa, where the overlord of the Wala traditional area, Na Fuseini Seidu Pelpo, did a symbolic tree planting at the palace, known locally as Naidi. Correspondent Emmanuel Mensah Abludo is on hand to tell us more about the exercise. Hello, Emmanuel. Good afternoon. If you can hear me, how is the project going where you are? Our correspondent Emmanuel Mensah Bludo is to tell us how the project is unfolding in the Upper West region, and we'll put him back on the line when we get him. Moving on, the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund is sponsoring civil society organizations to empower communities to protect biodiversity hotspots. At a forum in Accra, participants were schooled on how to preserve the habitat of animals and plant species in forest reserves across West Africa.
The Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund is a joint initiative of Conservation International, Agence Française de Développement, the European Union, the Global Environment Facility, the Government of Japan, and the World Bank. It was established 6 years ago to assist civil society organizations at the grassroots, regional, national and international levels to reconcile biodiversity conservation and socio-economic development in hotspots. So far, $10 million has been invested in protection of reserves covering parts of Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Cameroon, Sao Tome, and Equatorial Guinea. Reports on the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund baseline for hotspots show that the forest of West Africa is home to 9,000 plants, including 1,800 endemic species, 416 mammals, 917 birds, 107 reptiles, 269 amphibians, and 1,000 butterflies, with 5 critically endangered mammal species. This, the report says, makes the area a priority for biodiversity conservation. At a 3-day capacity building forum, the team leader for Global Initiative for Food Security and Ecosystem Preservation, Mr. David Teringwas, said over 100 communities have been empowered to promote best practices in mining, sustaining forest and agriculture. He called for support from non-governmental organizations and community groups to help improve biodiversity and preserve the forest. The Executive Director of Global Ecosystem Partnership Fund, Mr. Olivier Langrand, called on the government to increase budget for biodiversity for its sustainability.
It's important that governments realize the value of nature and use, nature as an asset. So the message I would like to send to the governments is to really look at the amazing capacity that exists within NGOs in their respective countries and work with the NGOs that are trusted partners of governments to achieve the global agendas that governments have signed on, such as the Convention on Biological Diversity or the Sustainable Development Goals.
The Director of Tropical Biology Association, Dr. Rosie Trevelyan, says safeguarding biodiversity is a collective responsibility which can enhance the living conditions of residents in communities through the management of natural resources. Our Upper West Regional Correspondent Emmanuel Mensah Abludo is back on the line. We understand the overlord of the Wala traditional area did a symbolic tree planting at the palace, and he's here to tell us more. Hello, Emmanuel.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
The overlord has set the pace. How are indigenes holding up?
The indigenes are also making sure they are giving to the agenda that the overlord has started. At the palace, initially, when the overlord planted the first tree, the Queen Mother also came into the picture but planted the second tree. Thereafter, the regional minister took the other phase by leading the research members to the regional forest reserve at the outskirts of the town, where they planted the trees over there. There, they start make it plain that what they are doing is as a result of the vision of the president that we have to make sure we restock the degraded forest of the region and make sure that whatever we do in terms of our environment, we take good care of them so that the environment will also take care of us. From there, he moved back to one model school, which is Amameta. Whilst we were on the way going, the students in that school, the one model school, were enthusiastically also participating in the event, planting trees. So when the man saw it, he was so much and made a mental note of it. So after the forest, we returned to that place, and symbolically he planted 2 trees there and charged the headmistress over there and the school authorities to make sure that the younger generations are made to make sure that they take good care in terms of planting trees and taking good of them.
It has been a successful exercise, hasn't it?
Yes, very successful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that update. Our correspondent Emmanuel Mensah Abludo giving us that update from the Upper West region. The Data Protection Commission is advising all universities in the country to be compliant with Ghana's data protection law to secure the personal data of their subjects when conducting research surveys. This is to avoid sanctions stipulated under the law.
According to the Data Protection Commission, the University of Ghana School of Public Health commenced a research study known as the Accra Urban Adolescent Nutrition Study, which was made public in October 2021. The study sought to describe the nutritional status, dietary intake, physical activity patterns, and food environment of about 1,000 data subjects made up of adolescent children from low and middle class households in 10 selected neighborhoods in the Greater Accra region. The Data Protection Commission investigated the concerns of the public and established that the University of Ghana was not in good standing with the Commission as a data controller and had therefore breached the contract with the international sponsor, International Food Policy Research Institute, which had directed the university to comply with their jurisdictional data protection requirements. Accordingly, the university was directed to suspend the research, register with the Data Protection Commission, and notify their international sponsors of the breach, train at least one staff to become a certified data protection supervisor to oversee the implementation of privacy. The Commission is cautioning all universities to take steps to register with the Commission and follow due process by complying with Section 28 of the Data Protection Act.
And as the news are live on GBC News and GTV, we go for a quick break. We will be back shortly. Please stay with us. Welcome to the business segment. Shareholders of Ecobank Ghana will earn 62 pesos per share of the pie they own in the Pan-African Bank. A total of 200 million cedis has been earmarked for the payment of dividend in the year under review. The development comes on the heels of a sterling performance which saw Ecobank Ghana net profit of 886,380 million cedis in 2021 as against 2020 figure of 773,767 million cedis.
The board has approved a dividend of 62 pesos per share for all eligible shareholders. Your board arrived at this decision by balancing the need to ensure profit retention for the sustainability of our business with the need to provide liquidity and returns to our cherished shareholders. During the year, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index appreciated by 43.66%, and the GSE Financial Stock Index also appreciated by 20.7%. Your bank's share price also appreciated by 5.56% in 2021 and closed the year at 7 cedis 60 pesos.
We have on the line an economist, Eric Chebafo, to speak to us about the economic and financial benefits of a Green Ghana project. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
I thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
How has forest degradation affected Ghana's economy over the years?
For every growing economy, you need all these environmental in order for your economy to also grow, to sustain its growth. And if you're looking at Ghana, deforestation has rendered the state so much. And most of the products that we've been using day in and day out are coming out from our natural resources. And Ghana, we have this system that whenever that we cut down trees, we do not replanting. And at the end of the day, it affects us. Looking at the trees that our river bodies, looking at the trees that will help us to get ventilation, the trees that also helps us in terms of our industries and manufacturing, it has really affected the country so much. That is why recently a research came out that there's a huge constraint between academia and the industry, all is as a result of environmental degradation. So I believe that with this exercise that is going on, if they truly and sustain it in Ghana, one of the major problems is that we have programs and policies, but the sustainability is the problem of the people.
So what do you think should be done by corporate Ghana to ensure that the 20 million seedlings planted survive and for us to derive the expected benefits?
Please come again.
I'm asking, what should corporate Ghana do so we derive the expected benefits?
Yes, it's a very good and intelligent question that we really ask. Sustainability is the key. Now, I would rather implore the government to involve the private sector to engage in. Or coming out in Ghana to engage myself or working with the private sector, I realize that Ghana, we only need a natural or Western people to come and develop the country. Because everything is not working in this country. Nothing is working in this country, especially in the public sector. When it rains, no one comes to work. When it's traffic, nobody comes to work. People come to work late. I mean, they've taken the job as not their own bona fide property. But when it's being given to the private sector, there is going to be, the monitoring will be very accurate. Evaluating will be very accurate, and maintaining it gradually will also make it. That's why I said sustainability is a problem in this country, but except the government involved there's various stakeholders and the private sector to take it over. Other than that, my dear sister, looking at the experience I've had in Ghana with this short period, it's a problem.
We hope the story does change. Thank you for the insights. We are grateful. And that was economist Mr. Eric Che Bafo. Trees and other ornamental plants beautify otherwise bland areas. Also, planting trees has a huge role to play in Ghana's drive towards reducing carbon emission, creating green jobs, and boosting economic growth. Madam Shirley Ayoko and her counterpart at the Finance Ministry, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, planted trees at their respective ministries today as part of the Green Ghana project.
The city of Accra and most parts of the country have not been spared the wrath of climate change. This is due to the wanton destruction of the forest cover and other human-related activities such as illegal mining. In 2017, Global Forest Watch put the cost of environmental degradation in Ghana at $6.3 billion. And as part of measures to mitigate climate change activities on the country, Ghana in 2021 instituted a Green Ghana. The government in 2021 instituted a Green Ghana Day to plant over 7 million trees. In 2022, 20 million trees are expected to be planted. Joining the campaign, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Madam Shirley Ayoko, said the initiative will help reduce carbon emission, prevent erosion, and spare water bodies.
Every year, 20 million trees. Say to me, 80% of trees are survive here. We all know what is happening with global warming, climate change issues. It's all around us to see. This for us is extremely important, and we are doing our bit to make the world a better place. Sit down around the trees rather than cutting down the trees.
Marking the Green Ghana Day at the Ministry of Finance, the sector minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, said there is a need to mobilize every resource to protect the ecology for future generations.
Ghana's holistic development risks being greatly not succeed in adopting a more sustainable, aggressive approach to the use and management of these precious resources, which are critical to our economic and fiscal well-being. Since 1960, average annual mean temperature has increased by 1 degree Celsius in Ghana. The average number of hot days has increased by 13%, while the number of hot nights per year increased by 20%.
Each of the 20 million trees planted as part of the Green Ghana Day celebration will require 15 gallons of water each week to survive. Edward Nyakun reporting for GBC News.